There's something curious going on in Syria. We actually have done a pretty good job of wiping out ISIS, but Trump isn't bragging about it. Now, if you say, well, it's because he didn't really change Obama's policies at all, it's the same strategy that Obama was using. You think that would stop Trump? Did he do anything particularly great about the stock market rise? No, it was the same trajectory as under Obama. And he's like, it was me, it was me, it was me. It was gloomy before me, now it's awesome. And then when it crashes, he's like, it was Obama. It was Obama, right? So it's weird that he's not taking credit for the serious downgrading in ISIS's capabilities in Syria and Iraq. Perhaps I have an answer. It's because the military-industrial complex doesn't want you to think the problem is solved because they'd like to stay. Now, what are they doing in Syria? Why are we staying and what are we up to? Again, it gets very little coverage. In this case, Reuters doing a good job of explaining the latest in the fighting. More than 100 fighters aligned with the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad were killed overnight when the US coalition and coalition-backed local forces repelled their attack in eastern Syria, a US official said on Thursday. Wait, what's our policy? Are we fighting Assad or are we not fighting Assad? First of all, Obama was never clear on this. He said, oh, we're gonna get ISIS and I don't like Assad. What does that mean? Does that mean we're fighting Assad or are we not fighting Assad? Then Trump comes in and goes, I don't really care about Assad, I just want to fight ISIS. So then why are you fighting Assad? Why do we just have this battle? Okay, US officials said we suspect Syrian pro-regime forces were attempting to seize terrain SDF had liberated from Daesh in September of 2017. So since cable news has never covered this, you're probably wondering what are those words he just used? Okay, SDF are local Syrian forces, kind of, that are on our side, kind of. So they fight against ISIS, but they also fight against the Syrian government. So we want to protect them. Are they good guys? Other people we have supported in Syria were connected to Al-Qaeda. Oops. And where does SDF's actual loyalties lie? No one knows. So, and Daesh is another word for ISIS. So since they've wiped out ISIS in some important parts of Syria, there's now a turf war between the Syrian government and us as to who's going to control oil fields. Why? What are we doing there? If we're fighting Assad, and I don't agree to doing that, but if we are, okay, then let's fight him and let's declare that and have a clear policy. If we're not fighting Assad and ISIS is almost wiped out, okay, let's clean up the remnants of ISIS and not attack the Syrian government and then get the hell out. But instead, let's just stir up the pot, cause more war, make more money, and not let the American people know about it. In reports that appear to confirm the officials' comments, Syrian state media said the US-led coalition against Islamic State had bombed pro-government forces east of the Euphrates River in Deir al-Zor province. One of the state TV outlets reported dozens of dead and wounded. So both, I know this is confusing, but both the Syrian government and us and these SDF guys, we're all fighting against ISIS. ISIS is losing. Now they attack, the Syrian government, according to all these officials, attack SDF and then hence us, because we're sitting there like sitting ducks in the middle. They attack us, we counterattack, and we kill dozens of their guys because we're trying to decide who should have more turf in Syria. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay, Syrian state media said on Thursday the US-led coalition had bombed popular forces fighting Islamic State and the Syrian Democratic Forces east of the Euphrates River. Why are we bombing guys who are fighting ISIS? Does anybody even want to ask that question? We have a White House press corps. Look, I don't mind them asking about the tweets. Unfortunately, the president sets policy. His tweets are important, God help us all. But can you also ask, hey, who are we bombing in Syria and why? What American interest does it serve? Does it mesh with Donald Trump's stated campaign promises? And when are we going to leave? Are we ever going to leave? What is our objective? And why are we getting enmeshed in a further civil war in Syria? Those are monumentally important questions and one that the mainstream media almost never asks. You just watched the video by the Young Turks, home of the revolution. If you'd like to get a lot more than that, get the full show by becoming a member. tytnetwork.com/join.